All right, welcome back for another beer experience. I'm Kevin with CrafTeeBeer, and what do we have for today's beer experience? We've got an amber ale. Today's amber ale is from Coronado Brewing in Coronado, California, and it's their Mermaid's Red. It's an amber ale, 5.7% ABV. Coronado Brewing was started in 1996 by Ron and Rich Chapman. The Mermaid's Red is part of their core series, so I'm assuming that means it's a year-round brew. The style amber ale or red ale is a malt-forward, sweet caramel, toffee style of beer. It's sometimes can have a small hop aspect to it, but usually it's very low. And it can also sometimes have low, like an ester fruity flavor to the style as well. And even sometimes low amounts of diacetyl flavor, which is perceived as like a butter creamy flavor, is acceptable as well. So the label is screen printed on the glass. It's not a paper label. And it's got printed on here what's called the Siren's Calling. It says, its song is one of fresh floral aroma and subtle bitter notes, while a melody of roasted malts fades effortlessly into a rich chocolatey finish. Sounds good so far. As one of our first beers brewed back in 1996, this brew is worthy enough to embrace the siren's name. Let this enchantedness lure you to the nearest beach, bar, or backyard patio. All right. Mermaid's Red. It says brewed with Cascade and Centennial hops. So I thought I read that this was dry hopped with Pacific Northwest hops, which are there's multiple of varieties, but Centennial, Citra, Simcoe. So those hops are known to have a citrus or piney flavor. So maybe we'll have some of that come through in this. All right. Let's get this in a glass and see what it has. Wow, another good looking beer. It's so an amber ale should be a copper color, dark brown copper color, which this is. You know, another four finger crazy off white head, not really khaki or tan. I'd call that off white. Some pretty loose bubbles at the top, bottom. It's a dark beer, but it's fairly clear. It's not opaque at all. It's just the color that causes it not to appear that clear. But a good copper color. Good looking beer. Let's see what the nose is. Malt sweetness pretty much says it all. Not extremely strong, but it's just a sweet smell. Not coffee, not toffee, but some sweetness. Meaning I just don't know what the sweet is, just a sweet smell. Caramel sweetness, I guess, is the best description for the nose that I can give you. Let's try it. Cheers. Grainy, dry, almost slightly metallic flavor first time through. malty. It's pretty much malty, sweet, and it's got something on the back end, back of my throat. It's I would describe as slightly metallic. So that back end metallic something bite, astringent bite, is probably the hops, but it's got so much malt forward and sweetness mixed in. So the back end that has that, what I'm describing as metallic, something astringent, a bite, it's probably the hops, but it's wrapped in so much sweetness and so much malt ahead of it that it's masked a little bit. It doesn't ring as typical, hoppiness. The flavor is pretty consistent. Some beers I drink that with the first sip, second sip, third sip, the story changes a little bit. Some things become more prominent as you drink more of it. This one is pretty much staying the same. The flavor I would describe as metallic was a little bit confusing to me. It's definitely, it's hops. It's the alpha acids of hops. It's just that the flavor starts out on the front end with so much sweetness and malt that it masks it, wraps it, confuses it. I don't know. But it's malt forward, sweet, and then that very finish you get that hop bitterness. So that makes it very interesting. Makes it really, really, really good. I like it. It's different. This is saying chocolatey finish. I think it's more of a, I'm getting more of a hop finish. But it's very interesting. I like it. I'm going to jump over to Untapped and check this in. All right, so Mermaid's Red, Coronado Brewing. As you can see, I went with a 3.5 rating, and I went with a flavor profile of hoppy, malty, and smooth. Not a very complex beer. The flavor story is interesting. It starts off with a very malty, sweet caramel flavor, which kind of stays with you, but then on the very back end, it gives you a little bite of that hops. That bitterness on the very end, and that's the way it plays out, each time through. But that worked for me. I really liked it. It was a good beer experience for me. So another beer experience in the books. I'm going to enjoy finishing what's left of this one. If you've had it, so leave me a comment. If you've had something else, leave me a comment. Find me on Untapped KMH 500, and until the next beer experience, cheers.